There's a new book by Jody Cantor of the New York Times. It's called The Obamas. A lot of it is spent on Michelle Obama, the First Lady, but this is not trivial stuff. This is very, very important stuff in terms of who is influencing the president in which direction, and we find out some very important material here. First of all, there's the standard stuff about, the First Lady wanted to, according to her opponents in the White House, wanted to spend too much money on clothes, redecorating the White House. Those are the kind of nonsense charges you hear from time to time against First Ladies when other people inside the West Wing oppose them. When they want to minimize the First Lady, you know how she is. She likes to spend a lot, right? Now, whether that's true or not is a different question. Apparently, one of the guys who was doing a hatchet job on her was Robert Gibbs. He was the guy who would go and speak to the First Lady every once in a while and be like, you can't do that and you can't do this. Now, I take that with a grain of salt, knowing which direction Michelle Obama was pushing. And this has been a huge mystery for a long time. What does the First Lady think? What does she counsel the president? It turns out she's the progressive inside the White House. Another thank God. Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere. And it turns out her main opponent was Rahm Emanuel. And the fact that she was opposed to Rahm Emanuel there, in and of itself, it made me think, the First Lady's on the right side, and that's a great thing. So then when you get into the fights involved here, the situation becomes a lot more clear. The First Lady pushed President Obama to do a speech on immigration, and he did, and it was saying we need to do immigration reform. She pushed him in that direction because of his campaign promises and the vision that he laid out during the campaign. Now, Emanuel was against that because he said, what's the point of doing immigration reform? That's never going to pass. It's a waste of time. Your campaign promises, who cares, right? President Obama decided to do the speech anyway, listen to the counsel of his wife. But it turns out the rest of his staff didn't basically give him the support that he needed on that speech. So later on, he's described as being quietly furious about that. Again, with President Obama, this is now at least the third time that we have heard about how the president's angry at people inside the White House, but what does he do about it? Now, mind you, Rahm Emanuel eventually gone, okay? Left as chief of staff. Maybe that had something to do with it. But at the time, President Obama just fumed and didn't do anything about it. If I'm the president and I'm going to go do this comprehensive speech and then you don't back it up, and that's, by the way, the reason you probably never even heard about the speech, well, I'd be more than just a little angry. There would have to be repercussions. Look, this is not a trivial job. It's not some thing where you can get personal feelings involved, okay? You're the president of the United States, most powerful man on earth. If your staff's not doing what you tell them to do, they gotta go, okay? So that's point number one. Point number two, when they were discussing energy legislation, they wanted to deal with Representative Alan Boyd, who's a Democrat from North Florida. He's a Blue Dog Democrat, and he was, reluctant to give him a vote, for cap and trade and energy. He doesn't want to do that. He just wants to get the corporate money and be able to get reelected. Well, it turns out Rahm Emanuel made a deal to get his vote, sent the First Lady to do a campaign stop for him, basically, in Florida, right? And they take a picture together, etc. Now, what they didn't tell the First Lady, and this is where it gets interesting, is that, by the way, Boyd is going to run against an African-American in a primary. The guy in the primary is going to be more progressive than him and is African-American. So that's why they needed the First Lady, to go out there and give him a hug, basically. But they didn't tell her. They just sent her out there saying, we're trading that for the energy vote. Look, sometimes you got to do, horse trading and those bargains that are uncomfortable. It's playing hardball. I get that, right? But you got to let her know, okay? And if she makes a decision, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do that, that's fine. But not letting her know, and then, after she finds out, you think she might be angry? Of course. By the way, yes, they got his vote on that, but on a crucial part of the health care vote, he voted against them anyway. Later, he voted for the final package, but he hurt him badly on a crucial vote that they needed. Because he's a blue dog. He was never going to listen to them anyway. After you tricked the First Lady into campaigning for him, he's like, fantastic. I don't need anything more from these guys anyway. Now, the most important point here. On the issue of health care reform, apparently the First Lady who wanted to push for more comprehensive health care overhaul, of course, Rahm Emanuel did not. In fact, after Scott Brown got elected in Massachusetts and they no longer had 60 votes, apparently Rahm Emanuel wanted to pull the chute entirely. and say, oh, no, healthcare reform. Who cares? Let's move on. What a loser Rahm Emanuel is. So you were just going to give up? Look, that piece of legislation was incredibly weak to begin with. But you weren't even going to do that? You were just going to give up? How much do you suck at politics? Meanwhile, I've been saying all along, there's no question that this health care bill is going to pass. The question is, what form is it going to be in? And on that issue, again, the First Lady's on the right side. She says, look, there's no reason to scale back these efforts, and the president should not be cutting these deals behind the scenes with the healthcare industry. She says it goes against what he's been arguing for all along, and it's not the right way to handle this. Again, she was right. And who wanted to do the horse trading on those secret deals with industry? Of course, Rahm Emanuel. It was totally his doing to go, oh, no, Mr. President, principle, who gives a damn about principle? Let's sell out all of our principles. Let's sell out the public options. Let's sell out all those things to go and strike a deal with the healthcare industry, okay? All the different industries that are involved there. And then after they compromised on so many things and it was so watered down, he wanted to abandon it anyway because he doesn't know a damn thing about politics. Turns out it passed. Now, here's two interesting notes from the book. One, quote, more fundamentally, the chief of staff was trying to convince the president to scale back his health care efforts, but the First Lady wanted him to push forward. So there it is, in black and white, no question. Rahm Emanuel on the wrong side, the First Lady on the right side, both policy-wise and politics-wise. And then secondly, Emanuel wanted to win by the standard measures of presidential success. Legislative victories, poll numbers. Michelle Obama had more persona criteria. Was her husband fulfilling their mission? But of course that's the right criteria. What's the point of having a slightly better poll number, which by the way is so short-sighted because those poll numbers don't last if the public in the long run gets a sense that you're full of it, right? And which turned out to be exactly the case. They did all these like, oh, a legislative victory! Like financial reform was so weak. You think you tricked the American people? They get it was weak. Nobody thinks that Obama's a big fighter against the banks. That's because he listened to Rahm Emanuel and they did so little. Now, I don't want to absolve the president of wrongdoing here, okay? Ultimately, of course, as George Bush told us, he's the decision maker, right? His job is like to make decisions. So now you make a decision and you choose Rahm Emanuel over apparently the correct advice of your wife and whoever else happens to be in the White House. If anybody else was progressive inside that White House, well, then you made the wrong decision. Now it looks like they're trying to change course. Rahm Emanuel is gone. Bill Daley, who might have been even worse than Rahm Emanuel, who was his next chief of staff, has now today, left the White House. He's gone. At least on the campaign trail, President Obama is sounding a lot more progressive. You know what? Going forward, let's hope he listens to the First Lady a lot more, because apparently we found the one progressive inside the White House.